Today, we're going to dive into this really beautiful fable about a little girl with a very special gift. And it's a story that, honestly, gets to the heart of something we all face. That pressure to perform, the masks we wear, and that journey back to who we really are. So, let's get into it. All right, so right off the bat, once upon a time, we're in for something magical, a universal kind of story. And we meet our hero, Tata. And this gift of hers, it isn't just a skill she has, it's a core part of who she is. So let's start at the very beginning, before the world started paying attention. This first part is all about Tata's pure, natural connection to everything around her. A connection that was totally effortless and completely true.
And look at how real and tangible her gifts are. She's talking to flowers, hearing the stars, feeling the Earth's actual heartbeat. This isn't some act she's putting on. It's just her reality. It's simply who she is when she's in her most natural state.
And of course, when someone has a gift this incredible, people are going to notice. They started labeling her, celebrating her, basically putting her up on a pedestal. And while all that praise probably felt pretty good, it also started to create this expectation, a role she was now supposed to play. And right here, this is where the story really starts to turn. All that attention from the outside begins to change Tata from the inside out. It leads her down this path of creating what the fable calls the fantasy of appearance. So what does she do? She starts to dress the part. We're talking shiny clothes, colorful turbans, rainbow necklaces. She even starts using these big, difficult words that she doesn't really get. It's kind of like she's building her own personal brand. She's not just living her gift anymore, now she's performing it. She's creating a whole costume for this new persona. And this slide just lays it all out, doesn't it? On the left, you've got the real child who just is. She's feeling, she's talking, she's connecting. But on the right, you've got the persona, the mystic, who performs. Her natural bond with the earth gets swapped out for shiny clothes, and just simply being becomes a full-on show for an audience. But here's the thing about any performance. There's always a price. And for Tata, that stage she built for herself ended up being a really lonely place. This next part of the story gets into the heavy emotional cost of keeping up that persona. In the process of becoming the mystical girl, she lost something so precious. Nobody saw her as just a kid anymore. The label had totally taken over her identity. And with that label, it came with so much pressure. The audience she'd built up now expected her to be this all-knowing oracle, to have all the answers. The weight of that expectation just became crushing. And this is the moment the magic just shatters. To keep from disappointing people, she started making things up. She began to fake the very gift that used to be so natural to her. It's that deep-down fear of being found out, right? Of being seen as a fraud. That's what pushed her to choose the performance over the truth. But you know how it is. Even in the darkest moments, a little whisper of truth can somehow cut through all the noise. This is the big turning point of the story, where Tata's own inner voice finally breaks through the performance. And the setting here is just perfect, isn't it? In the quiet, away from all the crowds and the expectations, when she was finally truly alone, she could actually hear herself again. And in that silence, this message comes through. It's so simple, but it's incredibly profound. Her gift was never about the show or the spectacle or what the audience thought. It was always, always about truth. And that realization just brought on this huge, powerful release. A cry not really of sadness, but of pure understanding. The massive weight of the persona she'd been carrying around finally just came crashing down. She finally gets it. She had been trying so hard to be seen as special that she completely forgot how to just be herself. The performance had become way more important than the person. So what happens after a breakthrough like that? Well, you have to act on it, right? This final section is all about how Tata starts that journey of getting her authentic self back. And in doing so, she finds what is truly the greatest gift of all. And I love this part because the story shows her taking these very real physical steps. She literally takes off the costume. She puts away the props, the book she was just pretending to understand. And most importantly, she goes back to the riverbank, a place where she had a real, genuine connection. And right here, she makes a new promise to herself. Her prayer is a total reframing of her gift. It's not about being impressive or vain anymore. It's about being humble and just letting her true self blossom naturally.
And in that exact moment of pure authenticity, the world responds. A little bird landing on her shoulder. It's like a sign from nature, a little nod confirming she's back on the right path. She is once again feeling the true touch of the invisible.
So, after going through all this, Tata basically becomes a teacher. And her first lesson is a big one. True mystery, the real magic in the worlds, it doesn't need to be all dressed up in fantasy. It's powerful enough all on its own. Her second lesson flows right from that first one. A real spiritual connection isn't about some big show or a loud performance. It can be quiet, it can be personal, it can be humble. It definitely doesn't need a stage. And ultimately, this is the core of it all. The big reveal. The greatest gift was never her ability to see the invisible. The greatest gift, for her and for all of us, is just having the courage to be true to ourselves.
So, as we wrap this up, the fable kind of turns the mirror back on us. We all have our own stages in life, right? At work, with friends, online. So, it's worth asking ourselves, what costumes are we wearing? And what would it actually feel like to just take them off?